Tell me the earliest memory you have of the two of us.
The earliest memory I have is I was at the country club.
Mm-hmm.
And you were coming up the hill towards the country club from your house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you had a little trouble with your bike. And I went down there to talk to you. And I don't know whether that's when we met or that's just what I remember.
Mm-hmm. I'm remembering going past your house. I remember being on the block where you were. And the other thing I remember very vividly, this has nothing to do with you particularly, but it was Halloween, and we were in 8th grade, and Marty Noodleman and a couple of the other boys lit a fire in the middle of the street, right near the country club. And
were you and I with them on Halloween?
There was a whole big group of teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they were doing some bad things.
Right. Well, the fire is what I remember.
Well, what I remember is at that, I think it was that Halloween night, we were in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And I had a boyfriend. His name was Kenny Tyson. Do you remember?
That sounds familiar. I don't remember him, but that.
He was chubby. He was a Gentile boy with red hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very fond of him, but I was very disappointed. He took one of the signs off the signposts of the streets, and he threw it, and he broke the street light with it.
Oh wow.
And that was awful. Yeah, I remember that.
That was probably also at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very wary of the boys, but they were also at the age where they were very interested in sex, and I was very uncomfortable at that age.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't that uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I did a lot of necking with Kenny.
Oh well, I did necking. Yeah. Well, I did necking, but I didn't really have anybody that was. And I was younger than everybody else too, so
that's right.
So that made me more uncomfortable. And then you talked about the bike. I had a 1-speed bike with big balloon tires, and everybody had these 3-speed bikes, English brakes.
With sleek, slim tires. With sleek, slim tires.
Right. And everybody rode that, and that was because they had come from New York, and I had come from North Belmore. And North Belmore was way behind the times.
Uh-huh.
It was.
Gee, I don't remember what my bike was like. I'm sure that I never had bikes or clothes or anything that I thought competed with the other girls at the country club. I think.
Let's talk about your wedding. I remember it was in the gardens next to the Roslyn Country Club. And,
oh yeah, and oh gosh. I remember something that happened at my wedding.
What happened at your wedding?
Mary Ruth collected a bunch of kids that were at the wedding, and they all went down to the pool
Mm-hmm.
and they took off their clothes.
Oh, yes, I think I remember that.
And they went swimming in their underwear.
Right. That Daryl did not get pictures of.
Was Daryl at my wedding?
Huh?
Daryl must have been at my wedding.
Yes. Because I was seeing Daryl at that point. By the time of your wedding, we were pretty serious. Go ahead.
There was a beauty contest,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know whether I think I was in my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about it on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, some of the girls that were, there were a number of girls that were involved in the competition for the beauty
Mhm.
contest. I think it was judged by the Elks Club or one of those men's clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And I won.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, you know, that pretty picture of me that you sent to me,
Right, yeah.
I had bought a dress,
Mm-hmm.
which I wore to that contest.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved that dress. I bought it at Orbach's. I went myself.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother was sort of annoyed because she always wanted to go shopping.
Shopping with you, right.
And she always wanted to pick out things.
Yeah. Well, I hated my mother's taste. I didn't like my mother's taste, so I never wanted to go shopping with my mother.
I didn't dislike my mother's taste, but I wanted to be a little bit independent. So
Right,
I
yeah.
went to Orbach's and I found this pretty dress and I put it on and I thought it looked so good on me. And I brought it home. I showed it to my mommy
Mm-hmm.
and she said, "Oh, you'll see yourself coming and going in that
Mhm.
dress."
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, that didn't upset me because I knew that dress was pretty and I looked good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it came that they had that contest, and I remember they kept calling girls to come out, and I don't know if they do that with girls these days. And they had us curtsy, and they had us bend down, and they had us turn around and do a pirouette and stand on our toes, and they had me come first with these girls, and then these girls came with other girls, and I came with other girls, and finally they picked me,
Mm-hmm.
and I won. And there was a parade
Mm-hmm.
in Roslyn.
Mm-hmm. Were you on a float or?
I don't know whether it was a float or a carriage. So anyway, I rode in the carriage in the parade,
Mm-hmm.
and I sat at the rabbi sat in the carriage with me,
Mm-hmm.
and that girl was on his right and I was on his left.
Mm-hmm.
And after that parade was over, I don't know how long after the parade was over, I distinctly remember the rabbi ushering me into his office and giving me a lecture on vanity.
On what?
Vanity.
Vanity.
How I shouldn't let my good looks I shouldn't get carried away by my good looks. That's all I had was my good looks.
Well, that's how I was with my singing.
I wanted to get a still picture
Mm-hmm.
made with me with my dress, and I never was able to get a good still picture
Mm-hmm.
without my part of my face being lopped off or something. I
Mm-hmm.
still haven't gotten, so I still don't have a good still picture of me with that. Yeah, but I love that picture, you know.
So what about the picture that you have? What?
The one you sent me?
Yeah.
Well, it's in my computer.
I'll have to see it, take a look at it again. To see, now that you're telling me the whole setting and story of it, I want to see
Do you
it
remember
again.
the picture?
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
Yeah,